Hi, and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be making these really cute little placement pop-up cards using Cricut Design Space. I'm also going to be debossing the pattern on here with my new debossing tip for the Cricut Maker using the quick swap housing. Let's get started, and I'll see you at the end. So the first thing we're going to do for the pop-up placement card is insert our basic template shape. So I'm inserting a square and I'm unlocking the measurements so we can make it into an actual rectangle. And I'm going to change the measurements up here at the top to 4 inches by 3.5 inches. The next thing I want to know is where it's going to bend. So I'm going to go back to shapes and I'm going to insert a score line. I'm going to make this score line 4 inches long. For some reason, my design space isn't letting me adjust the score lines when it's horizontal. So I'm going to overlap it here, and then I'm also just going to align it vertically. Okay, so there we have it. For the pop-up image, I really like butterflies, so I'm just going to pick a butterfly. So I'm going to go to Images in Cricut Access, and I'm going to search for butterfly. My plan is to deboss the center design of the butterfly. So I'm going to pick a butterfly that looks like a silhouette with some good shapes. This one looks really pretty. So I'm going to insert this one. And now I'm going to resize it so that it's just the right size for the placement card. And that looks actually really good. Perfect. Now we're going to use the offset feature. Maybe I can move it down so you can see it better. Okay, so I'm looking at that and I'm thinking about how much I want the cut to go around that butterfly. And that actually looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to leave it like that and apply. And it looks like I have a couple little dots there. So I'm just going to contour those out so that it's a solid shape. The next thing I'm going to do is line it up in here. I want those top wings to be just above the fold, but everything else can be in the center. Oops. So I'm going to arrange, just kidding, I'm going to align center here. Oh, look, it was perfect already. Excellent. Okay, now I'm going to use offset one more time. And the reason why I'm doing offset one more time is because I want to actually deboss those patterns. So I'm going to offset at 0 inches. And that's basically going to duplicate. You could probably just duplicate it, to be totally honest. So what I'm going to do when this pops up is I'm going to hide all the contours. And when you hide all contours, it leaves one contour because it doesn't want you to lose the image. So it's hiding all of these darkened ones and it's going to show this one here. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to deboss this. So I'm going to change it to deboss, and I'm also going to contour because I don't want to deboss the outer part of the butterfly. I just want to deboss the pattern of the wings. So as soon as these contours show up, I'm going to hide this big butterfly outline. So now all I have left is this, which is great. Okay, let's move back over to this big shape here. I'm going to hide this line for a moment, and I'm going to slice this butterfly shape out of the placement card. I'm going to delete these. I don't need those anymore. And now I'm going to take the shape that I want to pop up and I'm going to put it in. And I'm going to center it as much as possible. That actually looks pretty close, but just to be sure, I'm going to center it. There we go. And the next thing you want to do is we're going to weld this bottom center part to the main placement card, because otherwise you're just going to get some random butterfly cutting out with everything else. So I'm going to unlock my star shape. I'm going to adjust it to where I think I need it, and then I'm going to put it on here. And that actually looks pretty good. I think I have a little tiny shape right there. So let me just, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to select all and I'm going to weld them together. Now what I'm going to do is bring my debossing to the front and put it on top here. So you should be able to start seeing how it's going to look when it actually gets cut out. And the last thing we need to do is insert our score line. So again, I'm having score line issues. So let's see, this looks like it's maybe like 1.25 inches. So I'm going to change this to 1.25 inches. And I'm going to move it. Oh, it's pretty close. Way to go. I'm going to make it a tiny bit smaller, and I'm also going to duplicate it for the other side because, again, we don't want the score line to be going straight through the butterfly. That would be really sad. I'm going to move that for a second because we're going to align these score lines to the center. I'm going to move that to the front so we can see it. And let's align vertically. So now we have our lines in the right place. Perfect. And now I'm going to move my debossing pattern back on. And that looks about right, but I'm just going to make sure that just those two things are selected, and I'm going to align it horizontally. And there it is. So this is the pattern we're going to use. So now I'm going to group it together so I don't mess up anything. Okay, I'm going to attach it and I'm going to click on Make It. So here it is on my mat. It's going to score, deboss, and have a basic cut. It's in the upper corner all the way up. And I can see that, like, look, it doesn't go all the way up to the corner, which is kind of upsetting to me. And I don't really have a whole lot of cardstock, but you know what? Maybe I'm just going to make sure that it aligns to specific lines so that I don't do any guesswork. So I'm going to align it here. You don't have to do that. That's just me being picky. I'm going to be using actually this cardstock, but whatever. I'll be using that one. And I'm actually going to use a scoring stylus. So to change that, I'm going to edit tools and click scoring stylus right there. Okay, so I need to load the scoring stylus in clamp A. So I'm going to grab my scoring stylus here. I'm going to push it down until it snaps very lightly. And I also need to load my fine debossing tip, which I have right here. It says 21 right there. Okay, I'm using the light grip mat for light cardstock. Okay, so now we have this. I'm just gonna flip it over and start trying to separate it from the mat. This is a brand new light grip mat. I'm gonna use my spatula here just to kind of help with things very slowly. Let me just pull out. This is the cut. So actually, I'm going to pull it out from the back. So now I'm going to fold it along the score lines. Just going to use my spatula here. Just press down on the score lines here. That debossing looks really pretty. And I bet if you have foil sheets or something, you could probably do something really simple like that with it as well. You can also use your design space to write names here if you wanted to. I didn't talk about that, but this is the basic template. So you just insert a text and then just move it down and just resize it to under the butterfly wing. And you'll make sure that you want to use a writing font if you don't want the hollow letters to happen. Okay, so that's it. Thanks so much for watching this tutorial video. If you've learned something new, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel if you'd love to see more videos like this one. Also, if you come up with any other ideas for placement cards besides parties, since, we're not really having too many of those at this moment, I would love to hear your ideas. And if you'd like to see a tutorial on something else that's specific, please go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. Thank you, and see you next time.